Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Torch Snuffers podcast. I am your host, Colin Connors. With me, as always, is my wonderful co-host and Latina flavor, Alicia Garza.
Hello.
Also joining us tonight, the very talented Stephen Lehman.
Oh, thank you, Colin.
The always beautiful Ben Millier.
Hi, friends.
That random girl from Canada, Elise Anderson.
Hello.
Alex Cash is somewhere back there, right? He's
He
somewhere. We
died.
don't know where he is. Oh, well. Also joining us is the super sly and sexy Stephen Lehman.
You already introduced me, but I appreciate that. Thank you,
I already
Colin.
introduced you. Oh, well, that's the thing about Google Hangouts is there are no, redos. That's just what happened. Stephen, I introduced you twice. I didn't forget about you.
Good evening.
All right. So all of you wonderful listeners, but now your viewers, you may notice something is different. You may notice that you can see all of our beautiful faces, and that is because we have officially moved to Google Hangouts. Yes, every single episode we do, every interview I do, it's going to be on a Google Hangout, so you can see us be all excited and articulate and all that other good stuff. And when we have special guests like Billy Garcia and John Carroll on, you can go, oh my God, they look really good, or whatever. Anyways, with all that being said, we have a lot to get to today. We are doing our preseason madness for the next season of Survivor. It's in 1 week. Oh my gosh, so exciting. I like that. Elise was kind of excited. Alicia just looked completely bored. Anyway, here's what
I'm the only one smiling.
we're going to be doing a fantasy-style draft of the players. We're doing it through, Steven, what's this website called again?
That'd be Fantasizer.
Fantasizer, and we'll be posting a link to that in the box below. So be sure to check it out if you want to make your own fantasy league. And basically what's going to happen is whoever fantasy league decides goes first is going to pick a player. We're going to talk about that player, and we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of the players, of the themes, and of this season as a whole. Also, we will be dissecting some of the rumored twists surrounding the season. So everything you want to know about the season, we will tell you. So with that being said, I'm going to hit the Let's Get Started button, and it's going to start the draft. Okay. Dun, 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 get started. Wait. And I... Okay.
I don't know if it started.
So... Okay, it looks like Ben, you are first to go. Ben, are you ready?
I'm ready.
It says the draft will start when Colin initiates it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, is that what it says? So this is my fault, this little hang-up.
Yes.
Did you just get me excited over
It's
nothing?
always your fault.
So, Steven, why don't you tell us a little bit about the location this season while I figure out how to start the draft?
So, season 30. So this is season 32. This was 31 to film, for those of you savvy. This actually filmed before Cambodia, but they decided to air it after with all the Cambodia hype. It is still in
They
Kaôh
asked
Rōng.
Savage what he felt should be aired first, and he felt that his
Right, exactly. But
that's
it's
what
back
matters.
in Kaôh Rōng, Cambodia, which is an island off of I believe the west coast, if I'm not mistaken. And it is, let me make sure, because my geography nerd in me is, yeah, it is off the coast. It is off the sort of southwestern coast of Cambodia. It's really pretty. It is the second largest island. But yeah, it's back to where they were, and from what I understand, I believe the same three camps were used. So Bayon, Takeo, and Angkor. I can't quite remember who was at who, but I believe the Brain tribe, which I'm repping, was at Takeo. I believe Beauty was at Bayon, and I believe Braun was at Angkor, but I'm not 100% sure on
So
those.
Bronze have a little bit of a disadvantage if that camp is so crappy. But anyways, I did get to work, and Ben, you are first. Wait, why am I last in this? What the hell?
Oh.
What is
Oh my
this?
god, I'm second.
Oh, we're starting over. No, I'm not handling this.
Oh,
I'm
you
not.
can't do that, unfortunately.
Ben, go ahead.
Okay. I'm pulling up my notes. Okay, so the person who I put as number one that I wanted to pick, I'm doing it based off of personal feels, not necessarily because I think they may or may not have won, but in their intro video, this person said that they had spent a year or so living in Thailand as a backpacker, and that they had also lived on Martha's Vineyard and worked there. And I have lived in both of those locations, and for that reason, I'm going to be picking Michelle F. as my first draft pick.
Oh.
So let me get this straight. You're the first person in this draft. You get to pick anybody, and you just pick someone because they've traveled in the same location?
I'm passing my positive vibes and my number one status over to Michelle.
I have Michelle written down on my short list of people, so I don't think she's a bad pick. I think the
No, I
personal
like
pieces
that her
are
pet
there, but
Is overpriced alcohol.
Would you say, Elise?
I
like
will
that
agree
her
that
pet
she's a person.
peeve is overpriced alcohol.
Okay. I will say this. Michelle, what I have for her is she's like one of the few of the, because there's like that little camp of like the skinny, cute girls that normally don't do anything. I actually think out of all the skinny, cute girls, she could actually do the most damage. Does anyone want to argue that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it may be personal in nature, but at the same time, I also know, having lived through that experience, that you have to be a very adaptable person in order to live in a place like Thailand. So it's not something that's should be overlooked at all. Like,
Ty, I'll give you a quick comment, and then...
Well, given her hometown, if anybody's going to survive the season, I suppose it would be her, because she would be stronger than the Storm. Thank you, Chris Christie. Thank you.
Okay, so we just started, and we already got the Chris Christie joke in, and for all the viewers/listeners out there, every one of us, we all only get one Michael Scoopin joke all season. So
Oh,
you
God.
use it very, very
I'm not
soon.
using that tonight. Not using
I'm
that.
not using it tonight either.
We like
that was one per
but I
episode.
don't want this to become the Michael Scoopin pedo hour. All right.
Oh.
So, Ty,
Already
your
gone.
next pick.
Alrighty. I am going to pick,
Is it his turn?
yes, according to the draft thing, it says Ben, then me,
Oh,
then
my
Alicia,
apologies.
then Steven.
Oh, see,
Yes.
my draft isn't in order, so for that I apologize.
Well, if you have to click on draft, and then it lists.
That would explain it, yeah.
All right, technical difficulties aside, Ty, go ahead.
I am going to pick Debbie Wanner. She is from my hometown of Reading, Pennsylvania. She is a chemist, which makes her the second smartest person in Reading, besides myself, of course. After all, I own a collared shirt. Very fancy. But I feel like she has a great deal of HBIC potential. I feel like she could run that tribe. I kind of feel like she will. And I'm picking her based on that. Because I like winning.
Someone is going to disagree with you massively on that. Is that going to be me? Or does anyone else want to stick their foot out there?
I really wanted Debbie, so
Yeah, I love Debbie, so...
Debbie's kind of great.
I feel like Debbie is going to be great on episode 1, and by episode 4, her boot episode, we're all going to completely hate her. She seems way too, wanting to always be like, oh, I'm Debbie, I'm so great, blah, 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 and I don't know. I actually think she's the easy boot on the Brains tribe.
Colin, she's literally a female
Completely
coach.
disagree.
She's literally a female coach. She's a jack of all a Jill of all trades, if you will.
The Jill of all trades.
And
wrong,
I love her.
but all I'm going to say
There is a definite outlier, I feel, on the Brain Tribe. I do not think it is her at all. We will get to that.
Okay.
When we get to that
person.
person.
Peter, but I think that's going to be coming up later. Or maybe we'll disagree on that. Okay. So
I don't think it's either of them.
oh wow, Alicia, it's your turn.
no, I'm like kind of wishing I didn't go so early in the draft, because then I'm actually forced to pick between people I want. Instead of kind of being like, oh, this pick. So I don't know. I think I should go with Sydney. I'm picking Sydney.
I feel like it's a very solid pick.
Yeah, I think.
So, do you want to tell us more about Sydney, Alicia?
I think the Braun tribe is going to really pull out some good tribe wins. I think in the tribe phase she'll be great, and I think she's got a lot of potential. Jeff was talking about how she's really smart, even though she's a bodybuilder, so people won't think that she's really smart, and she's really pretty, and I just see her really excelling. And from the few promos I saw, it seemed like she was kind of taking a little bit of a.
Well, the only thing about I was going to say is I could easily picture her going with Darnell or Kyle or any of the guys in her tribe, because she did say she doesn't like girly girls. So maybe that's going to cause some conflict with her down the line, but I 100% think she's making the merge. Does anyone disagree or...
I think she's a big character this season. I don't know if I see her as I see her as more of a character than a player.
Yeah.
I get Crystal Cox vibes from her. But I definitely think it's a solid first pick because she'll be around for a while.
Yeah, that'd be a high bar for me. I'd say yes at best.
Of that ilk, Stephen. Maybe not as great.
I think that I'm with Ty in that I think she's more of a character. I think she has the longevity. I think she's going to go relatively far. Winning, I don't know, but I think she does go far, and I think she's a big character.
All right.
Will she have to run up a hill?
This is a fantasy draft, so we're going for points, not.
True, that is true.
Mhm.
No, I do
have
have a quick technical question here.
Okay.
Ty, did you officially select Debbie?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure because my draft is not updated, which is why I ask.
Yeah, it says it's pending.
Yeah, it still says.
How do I actually pick
put in
somebody?
my pick, so I think we all have to do so.
Wait, what did you say, Ben?
I put mine in, like I went in and I chose Michelle on the website, so
Yeah, that's
I think
what
we
you
have-
got to do.
How did you do that?
How did you do that?
it tells you when it's your turn. You can click at the top of the page. It says like, okay, I'm ready to draft or something.
Oh, well, then Ty needs to do that still, because
Where the hell is
Yeah.
that? Oh,
Like refresh your page. You have to go to the league page, I believe.
gotcha. I see it now.
Okay,
Sorry.
sweet. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't.
And while they're doing that, real quick, I'm going to say we have some news on the next set of seasons. They will be filmed in Fiji.
Yay!
So it's back to, one of the better locations, and I'm pretty excited. I'm happy they didn't go to Cambodia again or
And
Samoa again.
It's a different part of Fiji as well.
Ty, did you make your pick?
I did make my
It
pick.
is pick official.
Okay.
I wonder if they're going back to Fiji. Will Lisi be there? Will her tidy whities be there? And if so, we need to keep those tidy whities off of the children. It's still too soon. It's still too soon.
We should get Lisi as a guest on this show.
Oh, that'd be something else.
Okay, Steven.
Yes. It still says Alicia has yet to draft.
She's a little too old for Michael. But
This is really
her tidy whities.
a process.
And just for all you listeners as viewers, we don't do drafts on every episode. This seems to be
Yeah, this is a one-time
this up a
deal.
bit. We are a bit more smoother, or at
We
least
are normally more organized.
more smoother.
Yeah, more smoother, I like.
More smoother.
Let's see. I'm still waiting.
Ooh, okay. Me is now on team Bring the Pain, which is my team.
Okay, Alicia, why did you name your team Bring the Pain?
So originally I couldn't come up with anything whatsoever. So I decided to name my team something that was intimidating and yet also a play on the fact that this season has so many injuries and ambulances and medical teams.
I agree. I think that's actually very clever. So, Steven, you're up. What's on?
Is it? Because Alicia, did you make your pick official?
My computer is a delicate little baby flower.
The only reason I ask is because it just wasn't uploaded from mine yet. So.
It still says draft number 3 is still in progress.
Right. That's why.
Okay, it's official.
All right, it's my official. Okay. So this pick, I guess it is my turn.
Mhm.
So this pick is the first one, and this is a full heart-based pick. This person is someone I am picking solely because I absolutely adore them, and I really want them to do well, and I think they will be able to do well. I think they'll be able to work themselves in. This is someone who I really got good vibes off of their video, someone who I personally adore, and...
I just
Do
get
you like them?
I'm sorry?
Just
Do you like them?
Yeah, yeah.
Who is it?
And
Jesus
I'm going to
Christ.
pick Aubrey. Aubrey from the Brains Tribe. So I'm going to officially select her.
I think that's your outlier from the Brain Tribe.
I see what you're saying, but I think
honestly
she's
do.
going to make magic happen.
So let's have this.
I hope she does,
discussion.
but-
And Elise, I haven't heard from you yet tonight, so if you want to jump in, I want to hear your opinion. But for me, with Aubrey, I feel like if she was on any other tribe than Brains, she's a first boot. But I definitely feel like Peter and some of the other people on Brains might draw a little bit more attention to themselves. But Elise, I want to hear your thoughts on Aubrey.
Well, I like that she's seen Survivor every season, but I feel like she's the sort of super fan who won't do well. Like, she'll ostracize people with her knowledge of the game as opposed to, like, help people and do, learn from that knowledge to strategize.
And is quirky actually a good thing? Because whenever people are like, oh, I'm quirky or I tell it how it is, I've noticed those kind of players don't last that long.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That means fucking weird and probably annoying, and like they don't want to. People don't want to be on the island with people like that.
Yeah. I don't see her shelf life being strong on that tribe. You've got the old guy. You've got Debbie, who is a chemist and believes in like empirical things, not out there things. You do have the douchey doctor, so she might beat him.
I like her pick as a person. I don't like her pick as a player. I don't think she'll
Precisely.
do that well.
Right.
Great
It's
great
my
person
turn to
too.
pick.
All right.
So I'm gonna be
We should
straightforward.
have Steven's #1 pick enough.
I did look at all the players and I took notes, but I actually didn't really think about who I'd actually pick in the draft. So give me a couple of seconds.
Fantastic.
All right, so I'm gonna go with Jennifer. Jennifer is on the Braun tribe.
Oh,
Her.
I was going to
Solid
take
pick.
her.
I actually,
A very fantastic story, and I think it's going to be told. I actually don't think she'll win. She says she doesn't like getting wet and doesn't like being outside.
yeah.
I
Neither
hope
did
she's not.
three.
Yeah, I hope she's not an early boot. But
I,
she's around. She's going to have a lot of confessionals. And I think she could be a good narrator this season.
Colin,
So-
I
Good call.
agree with you that she's got a great story. I think she's a great person for Survivor. I don't think she does well though. I think she's gone early. There's a part of me that wonders if she'll step up and be a little aggressive. I just don't. I don't know if her shelf life is going to be long. And
You just picked Aubrey.
I
No.
will say this. Part of what my strategy is, and I shouldn't say this, and it's for the historical context of I do think, much like the first time that they did Brains, Beauty, and Brawn, I think the Brawn, once again, is not going to lose an immunity into a swap. I think that's going to happen. So
Okay.
that's why I feel kind of safe picking someone like Jennifer. I think she's going to have time to grow. Does anyone else have any thoughts on Jennifer before we move on?
I think she's a great pick.
That's fair.
I think I need to think about my next pick more because she was who I was going to take.
Well, Elise, you actually get 2 picks because it is a
oh yeah,
I know.
draft. So, Elise,
Oh man. Oh no.
Okay.
And wait, we each only get 3 players, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I actually think going last when you only get 3 players might actually not be a bad thing.
It's not
Yeah.
terrible.
no.
Not terrible.
Well, I get 2 in a row, but then I get stuck with whoever you guys don't want.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, for my first pick, I feel like most people aren't going to like this, but I like this, so that's all that matters. I'm going to pick Nick. I think he's
Oh.
a total douchebag, but I think he's going to be hilarious, so I want him on my team. I
He's gonna get a
feel
lot
like he'll make waves and probably won't do that great, but I'm excited to have him on my team. So.
I'm happy that you picked a person I wasn't drafting. Bless you. Bless you, my dear.
I do think Nick will get a lot of confessionals though, Elise, and that does help a lot in the draft situation.
Yeah.
That is true.
When he gets voted out episode 3.
Maybe he'll pull Drew Christie and, be a badass.
I would like to think he'd have a little more self-awareness than Drew Christie, but
He's a life coach. He can do whatever he wants to. And listeners, viewers, if you have not seen it, watch Nick's Meet the Castaway video because it's fantastic. He's like, I'm actually a life coach, but people are too dumb to understand that, so I just say I'm a personal trainer. It's great. It's fantastic.
It is priceless.
He's like a Donald Trump of the Brains tribe.
Which is exactly why I love
Beauty.
him, and that's why I want him.
yeah, he's a beauty actually, Colin.
Wait,
He's
so
a beauty.
The beauty tribe.
yeah,
You're
I
right.
was gonna say, wait, I don't think he's on the Brains track.
Yeah. We have Donald Trump on the beauty and Obama on the brains. Okay. Elise, what's your second?
So, for my next pick, I was going to choose Jennifer, but obviously that didn't work out.
Maybe you can nab her for your winner pick.
No.
I don't.
I go first for winner picks.
That's true, and I get second.
Oh.
So, I think I will actually go for Mr. Former FBI agent, Joe.
Yeah, dope.
That's a good pick.
Good pick.
So, Okay, so
I
you'll
feel like
know
he's not going anywhere fast. I feel like he has a lot of life experience that can help his tribe. So I'm hoping he'll do well. I think he'll be likable at least.
you know that
Definitely
movie
a good
Dirty Grandpa that's out with Zac Efron?
And Robert
Yes.
De Niro. Oh God.
Well, that grandpa doesn't really look like a grandpa that you'd be like, oh wow, like hey. But Joe is so buff and like so tan, and he looks so great. So I just, like when I saw him, I like thought of Dirty Grandpa, but I was like, this would be the better Dirty
He is
Grandpa.
going to rip them open like a social security check.
All right, thank you for that, Alicia. Okay, next to this draft. Okay, oh, it's me again. So Alicia's fantasies aside, it's time to get back to the fantasy draft. And like I said earlier, I actually didn't really take too much time to look at the players. So let me take a quick look at who's left. I will say I've done 3 Survivor Fantasy drafts. I came in last twice, and I won 1. So hopefully I can balance that out. Let's see.
Hopefully not.
Ooh. Okay. So for this pick, I am going with someone I consider somewhat of a dark horse. If this person were to be voted out really early, I wouldn't be surprised. But also, if this person were to make it somewhat far, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm picking Neil. I don't think Neil can win. I feel like he's too socially awkward. I feel like he's someone that could go, you need to work with me because X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, and then his alliance or his former alliance won't necessarily agree with him. I think he has the brains to do it. I don't think he has the social skills to carry it out, but I think he has the social skills to kind of, last a little bit. And also, like he said in his interview, he's kind of flabby, so I don't think people are going to see him as a threat.
I hope he's better than Max Dawson. I worry that might be his ceiling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think he's gonna be better than Max Dawson.
I mean, I think so too. But if I'm citing a fear, since my team is fear-based, since they're afraid of failing me.
I do like Neil a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
And I think he's going to get some confessionals. Okay,
Yeah.
so Steven, you are next.
I'm only one person away from getting like my next person that I really wanted to pick first.
All right.
Steven,
So
your job is to pick whoever Alicia
Steven, don't ruin my life right now.
wants. Steven.
all right. So I am reading over my folks here. Let's see here. I am going to pick someone who actually it might be a bit of a surprise pick for me. But this is someone who I think has some longevity in them, and this is someone who I think is a lot more of a threat than they let on, and a lot more of a threat than people give them credit for. And I don't like saying this because this person compared themselves to Russell Hantz, but it is with that I'm picking Kyle Jason.
Well, you're dumb. Honestly, Steven, what I will say is Kyle is not going to be the first person voted out. He's not even going to be in one of the first 5. I don't think so.
I'm picking him because I didn't say I think he's winning. I think he's making it far.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a character.
Lots of confessionals. You'll get
Lots of
points for.
confessionals. I think
Kyle
He does have a beard, which
and he's also got that very, very thick accent, if you will, the sort of Chicago, Wisconsin. Yeah, he's got that going on. So I'm partial to that as well. So with that, I am picking Kyle Jason.
Yay!
Okay, Alicia, who are you
I
fan?
take it that's not who Alicia was going to take.
No! Ew. So, the person I am picking seems very precious and like, really wonderful and sweet and like the best. And
she's about to channel Corinne,
Jeff
everybody.
Probst himself said that this person would be a really fantastic winner provided he could make it to the end. I don't know if he'll make it there. I think he'll get a lot of airtime at least because he's the cutest. So I'm picking Ty.
I love him so much.
I definitely
like
am the
Ty.
fucking cutest. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
does anyone here not like Ty because you won't be on the podcast anymore?
Yay!
We finally found a new Yao Man type.
Well, I'm actually okay. I'm going to combat you on this one, Colin.
Go ahead, Steven. Go
I
ahead.
think the only similarities he has to Yao Man are old and Asian.
Yes.
Yao Man is a lot
Which
more.
are kind of the top 2, but
Yes, but so this happened because I just watched PG again. But Yao-Man's a hell of a lot more devious than he gets credit for. Like,
Yeah, Yao-Man's a dick.
he's vicious. I love him.
But he's a dick.
Vicious.
Ty can also be devious, though. I think that's what we're going to see. I
He's
think
a
we're gonna
nice
see-
guy, and he seems like
I don't think Ty has ever been devious ever.
I don't.
Never.
But the thing is, I don't think he needs to be. I think he has that likability and that charm that people would just want to gravitate
I
towards.
was making a name joke.
Alicia, what I would say of Ty is I actually wouldn't be surprised though if he lasted to like final 6 or 7 because he's someone like if he's a loyal vote you would carry with him carry him on your back for a long time. So I don't think he's going to win. They won't let him into the final 3, but I think that could be a really good pick for you.
I think the women are going to love him on that tribe. I think the other 2 men need to be worried on that tribe compared.
Well, I think the other 2 men though, I mean Nick and Caleb, I don't think they're very long for the game, but that's a different
I know.
Let's hope that Caleb is not long for the game.
Okay, Ty, go right ahead.
Okay. I'm shocked that the person who I wanted second is still there. As Colin said earlier, I expect the Braun tribe to do pretty well in challenges early on, and I do feel like this guy's got a lot of personality and will probably be in a decent amount of confessionals. And I was really afraid that you were going to take him when you mentioned the dark horse candidate because sometimes the humor in here is less than creative. I am picking Darnell.
And in my notes, I had dark horse for Darnell.
I love. Based
I
on his video.
was hoping that Darnell would still be around for my third pick.
Well, that was silly of you to.
I watched Darnell's video and I am like hoping and praying to God that he does incredibly well. Not only because he just seems like a fun guy, but he invoked Sean Rector in the people he is most like, which like that is like holy ground for me. But
That's a good sign.
Yeah, I love Darnell based on his video, and I hope he does well. I want him to do well so badly, but
I think
I'm worried for him.
Darnell has going for him is the fact that of the 3 Braun guys, I think he's the one that stands out the least. I think you have Scott and Kyle.
Right.
If the Braun girls decide to stick together, Darnell's not the first one that goes.
Right.
So.
And I feel like he's the most socially savvy to warm up to the girls. Not that I think the girls will unite on that tribe. Honestly,
No.
I kind of get a different vibe on that.
Based on the bronze, I think Sydney is the type of girl who is quote not like other girls.
Yeah, that's what she said in her interview.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see the 3 guys and Sydney be the 4. And I think Elisa, whatever her name is, she's going first.
Alicia.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with my name, Alicia, because I'm still hoping to be an Alicia.
Or my name, Elise.
Or Elise. Okay, so now you made your pick. Now let's see who's next. Okay,
My
Ben.
turn, and I get the double dose as well.
Ben gets the double dose, but then Ben, after this, your team is set. Okay, so you gotta be really careful.
So I get to end my team now. This is exciting. I already know who I am picking, both of them. For my first pick, the person that I'm picking, I feel could have a unique situation on the Brains tribe where she is both socially able to handle a social game, but doesn't have any of the weird quirks that comes with being on the Brains tribe. And she does have a background in game theory and a degree.
There's only one girl left on the Brain tribe. We know who it is.
Yes, it was.
I think Liz is I'd say 75%. I think like 9 out of 10 times Liz does very well. I don't know. Part of me wonders if she'll turn into like an Eliza or an RC or an Alina or that girl who's like kind of a cockroach that gets left behind at the merge because she's seen as annoying. But I hope she does well. I think.
Well, Steven, my thing.
I think she gets off that tribe, which is all that matters now.
If Liz can make it to the swap, I think she'll be okay. But what we've talked about with the Brains, all of them say they're quirky or they're weird. So maybe Liz will be the odd person out because
she's not
like normal one in the bunch, and then all the nerdy people will have like Aubrey might hate Liz because to Aubrey, Liz could be like that pretty girl that always got So
Sure.
I think it could also look.
People could assume she's miscast and target her for that, or she could do really well flirting with the men.
I
loved her until I got to the Survivor contestant you are most like, and then it's the most cliched Parvati answer out of all of them.
She did talk about wanting to be a villain for villain's sake, which I thought.
Yeah, but to me that's not fun. To me that's just like put on and.
Well, yeah, to me that's a put on. Okay, so Ben, you have another.
I don't know yet. We'll see.
Are we done crucifying my pick? Okay. For my last pick, I'm picking someone that I think may be able to maneuver very well on their original tribe. I'm picking another female who I think has more intelligence than she displays. I'm picking professional poker player Anna, and I'm doing that because I really think that she's going to be the most strategic of the three females on the beauty tribe, and I think she'll be able to play up to the men strategically in the best way.
I agree.
Just don't ask if she thinks you should get married. That's all. That's all.
Well, yeah, she's a Trump supporter, but that's another story.
Oh, is Anna a Trump supporter? Never
Yes.
mind. Awful.
Yeah.
But a comment on Anna. With her being a professional poker player, the most successful professional poker player, to my knowledge, has been Jean Robert. So,
Jean Robert.
do we think she does better or worse than Jean Robert, who was 9th place in China?
She ties. I'm calling it right now.
Okay, I can do that. I think she does.
I can see her in like an Alina role, like being like an early.
You think she's that? Yeah, I can see that too.
I hope she and Garrett become a thing. I feel it.
So,
okay. At this point, with what's left,
go ahead, Tom.
I'm going for basically evenness. I have a brain. I have a brawn. So to that end, I'm going to go with beauty, just to play up my odds. I feel like this particular person showed up as a fairly interesting character. Like, I don't know that she'll win. Well, there's only one female left on the beauty tribe, so I just blew it. I'm going to take Julia. I think Julia could get far.
That's who I was going to pick.
She was on my list, too.
Okay. Here's my case against Julia.
Well, that's fine.
She has that whole thing where even Probst is like, oh, everyone thinks she's a dumb girl, but she's so much smarter than she looks, blah, blah, blah.
I mean,
right.
To my thing is, though, if I'm looking to vote someone out first, you normally do target the young, pretty girl.
Mm-hmm.
I could actually see her, trying to basically overplay. And if people realize she's smart, especially on the beauty tribe, they could go, oh, she's a threat, and get her out early. I actually think she's going to be one of the first people out of the game.
Disagree. I mean,
I don't think so.
In particular, based on the fact that you just said that you don't think either of the beauty men are long for the road, I see them being in much more danger than Julia, which is another reason that I picked her, because I don't think Caleb does all that well. He seems kind of dumb. I didn't see his Big Brother season, but he doesn't seem, he seems like a poor man's Brandon Hance, which is not good. And Nick's a super douche, which is great. It'll be entertaining for 3 episodes, but we already covered. It'll be 4. 3 episodes.
I just want to add that I think she would be a better pick if the tribes were bigger, because I feel like if if the beauty tribe starts losing and they get stuck having to vote someone out time and time again, you still need the douchey alpha bros to do well in challenges.
She might get like Angie Layton.
Yeah, exactly. That's my fear for her.
It's possible.
So
if the beauty tribe does well, I think she's good, but hopefully she can survive the first.
I mean, there's not much left. Scott Pollard's going to get targeted early because he's a basketball player. Someone will know who he is, and he's
I
probably
disagree.
Okay, yeah, Tom, go ahead and finalize your pick, and Alicia, go right ahead.
Pollard. I like his approach. I like that he's an athlete not pretending to not be an athlete. That never works. It always creates awkward tension and strange whispers, and there's always all this weird lying stuff. I like his whole I'm just gonna try and beat Cliff Robinson and tell everyone that's what I'm trying to do, because then people can kind of rally around him and be like, yeah, let's help him beat Cliff, let's do it. And I also think he'll get lots of confessionals, or at least lots of airtime, because he's an alpha athlete bro, and we all know how much Jeff Probst loves alpha athlete bros.
And I'm going to say something that I very rarely say, but I agree 100% with Alicia. I actually think Scott is in the best position out of any of the little recent athletes. I think he's in a better position than Rocker or Cliff, and I think he will, in fact, last longer than Cliff. I think he will probably be the merge boot or around that period.
Yeah, I think he's early merge.
I think he's a good pick. My one problem with him is Survivor contestant you are most like. He doesn't even give a name. He just says all professional athletes.
I mean,
I'd like to pretend that he chose like Gary Hawkins.
Yeah, I was gonna say for me that's the
Right.
high bar.
Yeah.
If he's anything like Gary Hogaboom, I'm okay with that.
So, Steven, go ahead and.
Okay, so I have a very wide array of 3 picks.
Oh, shit.
Alicia, have you officially drafted? By the way.
I'm working on it, so you can just
Okay,
go
no, I
ahead
don't.
and
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. No, because my computer's being screwy, and so I have.
There's so few left.
Oh God! So I have Alicia, I have Caleb, and I have.
Doctor.
Dr. Stan.
Oh God! I really have slim pickings, don't I?
I know. I snagged the last
I'm really not fond of
Really?
any of these people, so I'm gonna mull over since I have the time to do so, I guess. For Dr. Obama, oh God, this is a really slim pickings. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Stephen. There's not a hag left that you
No,
can
it's okay. So
No hats. Oh,
I'm going to give you to the count of 10.
Alicia is a real estate agent on the Braun tribe.
pick a person.
All right. So I have a Braun. Oh God.
Just pick some.
All right, I'm gonna pick Dr. Douche.
God damn it, that's what I wanted.
I'm picking Dr. Douche because he looks like Obama, and honestly, it's not a case of.
He's the best of the three.
Yeah, it's the best of what is left. So with that,
He's at least.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Obama is going to survive at least one episode, which could be more to said about either of the other two people.
Indeed.
So, Steven, now do you think on the Brains tribe he's the first out?
I think unless he does some like smart covert work to where he doesn't like try to step up and be the leader, yeah, I think he is first out. But like I said, I don't think he's going to be smart enough to keep his cards to himself.
And I do
feel like he has some longevity. He's strong.
Yeah, the Brain. I don't know, Tex. I feel like the Brains tribe. The smarter thing to do is keep the strong person, but Brains tribe, as we saw in the first Brains versus Beauty versus Bronze, don't always act that way. Like I could see them rebelling against Peter the same way they rebelled against Garrett.
Well, to be fair,
Ray is dead.
But to be fair, though, you have to remember Garrett tried to hold an open forum after a tribe lost.
That's true, but I could see Dr. Obama doing the same thing.
Spencer Bledsoe thought that Garrett was socially awkward.
Yeah. Okay. So, Steve has finalized his pick, so now it's up to me as I bring up the website.
You get to decide for me too, essentially. So.
So I am going to talk about both the candidates, or both the players left, and I already know who I'm picking going into this. And it's simply because, even though I host the show, and this is about to get a little bit serious, I have a very, very hard time disconnecting like what I know about players and having that influence, me and my perceptions of them. For instance, I was very much, and I still am, against Sierra Easton because she ranted against gay marriage and stuff like that. And to me, I found that hypocritical, and that's something I can never really swallow, and that's a flaw in me. Caleb Reynolds has also done a lot of, anti-gay sentiments and stuff like that and seemed very homophobic on Twitter. So I cannot in good conscience pick him. And as I try to commentate on the season, it's going to be hard for me to look at Caleb in an unbiased fashion because I know these kind of bad things about him. And that's a flaw about me, but I'm willing to admit it. So I will be picking Alicia, even though I do think she might be one of the first ones out, because honestly, I can't stomach Caleb Reynolds. And also, if you watch his Meet the Castaway video, he seems much more interested in being a reality TV star than actually winning the game of Survivor. All right, guys.
Yeah,
on that.
I think Alicia is. If you're going morally, I guess it's a good pick. I think she's gone early. I mean, like, I could see her being like first boot of her tribe.
I think she's the first boot of this whole season.
Like, she actually seems like.
Didn't you say that the Bronze were going to lose a challenge, though?
Oh, wait, if she's on Bronze and now she's fine.
Oh, yeah, she's on Bronze because I think she's on Bronze from what I understand because her father is a boxing promoter.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is another reason I think she's totally fucked.
Yeah, I just don't think she's long for the game, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, she'll make the swap then if she's on Bronze because the Bronze won't lose.
She should probably be on the Beauty tribe, but yes. Indeed.
Okay. So None of y'all care about my anti-Caleb sentiments. That's really cool. Elise.
Well, I will say this, Colin.
Okay.
You were critical of yourself and not being able to get over his stuff. That being said, we had Dan Foley, one of the most controversial people in recent Survivor history, and you were very upfront with him, and you shouldn't be hard on yourself with that. That's what I'm getting at. You still give people a chance. So. Yeah.
And that is true. If you want to listen to the Dan Foley interview, I believe it's the second to last episode of Survivor Cambodia. And we not only talk about the episode, we talk a lot about his game and the social standing. And like Ty says, I let him know going on, and I came from a place of respect, though, that I disagreed with a lot of his decisions, and it was a very good discussion. So
it was a great discussion. I didn't love him as a character on the show, but he was great to have on.
Yes, and hopefully we'll have him on again. Okay, so Elise, all that seriousness aside, let's talk about Outlaw Country or whatever the hell his name is.
Beast Mode Cowboy.
Beast Mode Cowboy. Ugh.
Ew.
So thanks. You're like, I can't stomach choosing this guy, so now I have to stomach choosing this guy by default.
No, but you don't have to stomach choosing him.
Yeah,
You just
that's
have
true.
to
You're left
stomach
with him.
allowing him to be on your team.
Yes.
Well, I can hope that he and Nick can create some
Oh God, you're douche alliance.
You do have a douche alive. That's wonderful.
That's great.
So, question: who is going to be Caleb's new Amber? Who is going to be the girl that he?
Jersey girl. Jersey girl.
Who's
That's
Jersey
right.
girl?
All right.
That is Michelle.
Michelle.
So, everybody, we have picked players. We have dissected them. And what's hilarious is the fact that by the time episode 3 comes around, we're going to go back and rewatch this and be completely wrong about everything. Like, backstab 2 people.
Except for me. I was correct.
So, it's going to be great. Well, we do have a couple other things I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is the 2 perceived twists that have been somewhat leaked about the season. Now, if you do not want to hear about the leaked twist, go right ahead and turn this off after you hit that thumbs up button and you subscribe and you share it to 3 people that you know. The first twist we're going to talk about is the fact that now if you get 2 hidden immunity idols and you put them together, they worked as the Tyler Perry Super Idol. Now, it is believed that these idols will be hidden, one at each camp, and if 2 people get together, they can use the idol, forge them together, and make a Tyler Perry idol. Now,
terrible.
Steven says it's terrible.
It's an interesting concept, but we all know how overpowered the Tyler Perry idol is.
Exactly. The Tyler Perry idol is okay.
I still also don't like that.
Really could have used that.
I also still don't like that it is called the Tyler Perry idol. So
it should be called the Yule idol, but
it could, but no one cares about Yule or
Terry,
that
it would be the
terrible
Terry
season.
Deeds.
No,
it would be the Terry Deeds.
What I will say is this though, and this
except for Billy Garcia, we all care about him.
In the last episode of the Cambodia podcast, where the more kind of intricate and weird these twists get, the less people actually use them unless they factor in the game. Because the moment anyone kind of gets any of these powers, like the vote nullifier or the double vote, they just get casted aside. And
pretty much.
I don't see this becoming a factor. I think they're running out of these kind of ideas. They need to just leave Tyler Perry idols completely out of the game. I'm not a fan of it, but I don't.
Just don't screw with the idols. Have one at each camp. Have one at the merge. Done.
Yeah.
They should have a twist where they
fair,
just
that's
don't have
essentially
idols one season and just watch everyone freak out because they think they're idols.
Yeah, that's another one.
That would be fun.
So we are all in agreement that we don't like the double-powered idol?
No.
I don't mind it.
Okay, Alicia.
I don't think it'll be obtained.
Yeah, that too. I dislike it on principle, but I think in execution, it's not going to happen. So.
Because we're coming. Well, and this is kind of interesting that this would be the twist for this season, and then the season that they filmed after the season, that we've already seen, is where Jeremy and Kelly both got 2 idols. So I think it's interesting that this twist is seemingly happening after that season, but really it's happening before, and it didn't happen then.
Part of me thinks they did it in this season instead of the previous one because they wanted to say, hey, we're introducing a new twist for this season. So my theories are either that or it just didn't pan out.
And Stephen, I think that is something that doesn't pan out, but also we are also in agreement though that every season doesn't need a new twist, and every season
No.
like a 3-5 division, like Republican, Democrat, Marxist. They could have.
I'm okay with the 3-tribe format. I think it's something that production enjoys. Personally, I like the swapping between 3 and 2, but I'm not going to hate on the 3-tribe format
without having to justify it by a weird twist, right, Alex?
Right, that would be nice, but
Right, Alex? I haven't talked to you yet all night.
What?
All right. Okay. So the last. Oh, go ahead, Elise.
I just wanted to add that we're talking about we need a twist to advertise this season. While I think the cast is really good from what we've seen, it makes me worried that the preview that we had at the finale last season, the only thing it emphasized is that people get hurt. That's what I'm worried about this season, if that's your selling point.
That's a very good point, because what we might see this season is we might see an alliance of 7 come together and just mull over everybody, and then whoever Colin picked wins first, second, and third, and then it's just embarrassing for them.
I think that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I think that a lot of people are going to get fucked over because key people are going to get injured and have to be taken out of the game or not be able to compete. So I think it's going to be a very shifting sands kind of a season.
Right. Who can adapt best?
Now let's talk about the other twist. Now that first twist, that is confirmed. This twist is still kind of up in the air, and I hope to God it's not true.
I don't think it's true. I can't imagine they would do. Well, actually, I can't imagine they would.
The other twist is that at some point along after the merge, someone will have the ability to remove a jury member.
That would be dumb.
That's stupid.
Ridiculous.
Assuming that's the case.
This is only a twist that would occur if they really wanted Russell to win and decided to give him a Boston Rob Redemption Island season. Then you could remove all the jurors except for Shambo. But otherwise, no.
I hate this twist because if it's true, it defeats like one of the most entire purposes of the game. That's like saying you don't vote people out anymore. It's just a sandwich eating contest, and it's still Survivor. Like it just fundamentally messes everything up. And also, let's say we're in the final 3, Colin, Stephen, and Ty, and I use that twist and get rid of a jury member. It's very possible the jury's going to immediately go, "We're not rewarding you for the money because you used that twist."
Yeah.
So
well, that's fair then. I would if that was how the jury reacted, I'd actually be completely okay with that.
That's how a jury would react. You're using a twist in the game that like is part of the game. I just think that's really shitty because like someone goes in and they're so excited they've made jury, and then suddenly like any say they had is completely taken away from them.
Well, imagine if
it's such an accomplishment to make the jury in Survivor, and to have that be taken away by one person that like you maybe didn't get along with or doesn't like you, like that's shitty.
Yeah.
Well, imagine being the 4th place person and then not getting it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No.
So we're not even going to try to defend this twist.
Yeah, that would be terrible if they did that.
It's awful. At least have it be like choose a pre-merge person to add to the jury.
Yeah, I think
Taking
that
someone away
was
is way worse.
Oh, I like that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I
just
can
think
follow
that
that.
it's not in the spirit of Survivor.
Yeah.
And if things aren't in the spirit of Survivor, they have no room to like be on the show Survivor.
Well, as I said, it fundamentally alters the game, which that's something none of us want to see. So with all this being said, does anyone have any final thoughts or last comments they want to make about this before we end our very first Google Hangout? No? All right. So I want to thank Alicia, Alex, Ben, Elise, Stephen, and Ty for joining me as we discussed and dissected the upcoming season of Survivor, which is going to be on in just 1 week.
I know, it's so exciting.
Every single week. And here's what's going to happen next season. It is all going to be on Google Hangouts. We are going to have Survivor players back on, and you will be able to see their beautiful, beautiful faces. Now, one of the small little negatives of the Google Hangouts is if there are little hiccups, you will experience that. But that just makes it more authentic and real, right, guys?
Yeah.
It's
totally.
very gritty.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's very gritty.
Totally. All right. So, with that being said, good night.
Good night.
Bye.